Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's so good of you to join me. Today will not be a short video and it won't be as ASMR as usual, as this is a how-to video, and I do wish for people who are not here for the restful properties of my channel to be able to utilize this video properly. So, land. We're going to go through the different types and different ways of obtaining it, and I will do my best to succinctly list the pros and cons of each and move on to the next. If you have any questions, I'm going to try to answer them in the pros and cons list, but if I miss something, please put your questions down below. If I don't know the answer, I'll find it, or one of my illustrious subscribers, if they know, will help you. We will begin with rentals. Do forgive the plane going on overhead. Today is a regrettable day in our history, but we won't go into that. Alright, so rentals. Many ways of getting rentals. The first way you can do so is to go online. You don't even have to log in World initially to check out the different rentals that are available. Let's find out how to do that. There are 3 different ways. The first way of doing this is to go to your secondlife.com dashboard and to go to the shopping tab, and you're going to go into marketplace. You're going to click marketplace, and when you click marketplace, you are going to type in parcel. As you can see, we've got quite a few listings here. Some of these may not be available. Some of these may already be rented. It depends on how quickly the people who list them are able to update them. That being said, let's click into real estate so we can narrow our search down even farther. That's very pretty. This picture of the Asteri Lake one. As you can see, there are many of them. Let's go and click on this one right here. Abbey Diale, 557, 12 meters, 2091 a week. Oh, 2,614 prims. Now, do keep in mind that your prim count isn't the only consideration you need to have in mind when you get there. Actually, let's go there now. Let's see if we can click in there. Looks like we can. Not every rental will have this available on the marketplace. Sometimes you have to get the card, quote, buy the card for Zero Linden so that you can get your landmark. We're going to teleport over. And this is adult land, which is interesting and nice. Click me, you may already be a winner. You can tell this is a very nice private sim with very nicely separated rentals here. This is a flat grassland rental, and underneath we're going to just have water. Now, whether this is swimmable or not is always the question. It may not be. Let's see. Probably not. As it. I could always pull up the map to check this, but it's always more fun to do it this way. Alright. So that's our sim edge right there. But you get all of this. All of this. For $420.91 per week. And if you need about 2,500 land impact, then then this is a very good choice for you if you need this amount. Now, there are larger and smaller. Of course, if we go back to the marketplace listings, we'll find larger and smaller rentals. And there will be a tier box somewhere around here, somewhere. They've done a very good job of concealing theirs from view, which is very nice. This is very, very nice. Now, one of the things you want to think about is how your things might run. Now, right now, I'm doing really, really well because the scripts here do not seem to be crazy, out of control, nuts, and I am lagging out. Not at all. Not at all. Of course, as I face away from the water and things over there, my frame rates get up to about 100 per second because I'm not looking at anything. But when I turn this way, we're getting, let's wait a second or two. Okay, now consider that we've got moving trees, moving water, a couple of different types of moving water, and we've got a turbine moving. Considering all of that, oh, we've got something moving in the air too, or someone maybe. We are doing pretty good. This is about how well I do at home. Inside my home. So, this could very easily work for you. Now, you definitely want to check out what's around you before you decide to buy a piece of land that is a rental. That is something that is hitting you up every week. The pro of this is that you can leave at any time. That is always a good thing because your circumstances might change. You might need to leave. You might want to leave. You might find a better deal. So that's always nice. The second pro of this is that it's always pretty easy to find a rental. There are always going to be rentals as long as Second Life has land. There are always going to be somebody who wants to either defray their costs or just make it another income stream. The next way you can find a rental is the same way you can find a piece of land to buy or a large piece of land to buy. And again, we're staying outside of in-world tools for now. And we are going to look at our Second Life profile. You're going to go to secondlife.com, pull up your dashboard. You are going to go to community. You're going to go to forums. And you are going to scroll down until you reach land. Now, as you can see, there are many different tools for us to talk to each other, reach each other, connect here. But today, we're focusing on land. As you can see, there are many different designations. Just general discussion: mainland, Linden homes, regions for sale, region for rent, region for sale homesteads, region rentals, parcels for sale, parcels for rent, wanted, wanted, and wanted. All right, so we're on rentals, but again, as you can see, this is the way you can access land of any type without being in world. So if you have a couple of moments, you have downtime, you're land hunting, this is a great tool for you to use. And we are, again, concentrating on land, and we are going to let's look at regions for rent first. These are larger, and as you can see, there are many choices. Let's check this one out. It's for sale, yet rent. Yeah, as you can see, this one is 14,999 Linden for 20,000 Landon Pat. Yeah, so that's this one, and you will find lots of different types of regions land for sale. This is a real estate company. $1/8 cent. No clubs, breedable, commercial, residential, okay. 1/30. I guess that will be 1/32 of a cent. And 1/4. And if you are looking for something in particular, it looks like they'll work with you. That's kind of what you're looking for. Alright, so that's the other way of getting land. We're going to do one more, but we're going to just discuss it. Okay, so the last way I wanted to discuss, I am not going to click into, but I am going to mention, and that is Facebook. Facebook, Second Life Facebook, is a good resource for finding people who are just randomly selling their land, and will post about it on Second Life Friends or something like that. You will see a lot of people just posting about various random things in world, and land is one of those things that does get discussed. Alright, so we're going to talk about the next ways of finding land. Rentals in world, and these two also overlap with the ways of buying mainland as well, or buying land. You're just going to go into the uppermost right hand corner of your screen. If you're on Firestorm, you're just going to click in the box, and then you're just going to click your enter, and then you're going to see that we have a couple of designations here. One of them being land to buy or rent. We are going to click rent, and we are going to click mainland, private island, and private homestead. If you are open to all of those, you click the designation that you are looking for, and all of those choices are going to come up, at least the ones that are listed and available. We are going to stick to mainland because most people are not looking for a private island or full sim. So we're going to stick to mainland. You're going to click rent, and you're just going to click the search button. You're not going to type in any keywords unless you are looking for something like a 1/8. in which case you will find that 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, or anything with the number 8 in it. You will find that. If you are looking for 1/16, beach home. Let's go see what it looks like. 130 London, 200 Prims. Let's go see it. Again, remember this will be a rental. You will not pay directly to Linden Labs for it. You do not have to have a premium membership in order to have a rental. If you have the cash, you may have a rental. This is very cute. And let's see if we can grab the land at all. There we go. About land. General, this area, this one is the one that was listed. It's a really cute little house too. 130, 200 Prims, Living Killers, Golden Breeze House. Management Prims don't count. Extra Prims available. Self-join group refund anytime. 4 weeks garners you a 10% discount. Beautiful area with access to boating, pools, spas with refreshments. This is adorable for 130 London a week and 200 land impact. And your land impact is not part of the build at all. This is adorable and peaceful. This is lovely. Do forgive my heater. My feet get so cold even though the heat is on. My feet get so cold. This is adorable, and this is reasonable. Join the group to prevent returns. Lease the space for 130 Linden per week. 896 square meters. 200 Prims. Pay the sign to begin your lease. And this is wonderful because as you put down your things, you can click this little box. Make sure you're not going over that 200 Prims so that you don't get things sent back to you, because that sucks. But this is a rental. This means that you will be paying directly to someone, in this case, for this space, for this home. And I'm sure that they will not want to really change what they've got going here. It's really wild and really gorgeous. I'm a fan of what I'm seeing here. Here's another rental. Raven Glass Rentals. These are all little cute rentals. 100 Linden here for these. These will all have a rental box that you will pay. And these are great if you aren't really deeply into decoration. These are cute. You can have a little couch, a bed, a chair, room for your resin, your box so you can get dressed. Ooh, do these windows open? They probably do, but they won't. Let's get rid of this. And yeah, so oh, there's a sky home. Oh, this is amazing. This is amazing. Okay. So, again, there are different amenities to different places. You never know. Some places you rent, you don't get a home. Some places you rent is flat land, and that's what it is. All right, let's look at the last way to obtain rentals. And we're going to stand right here and do that, actually. And we're going to go to Firestorm. Remember that? I'm on Firestorm. I don't know how this works on the other platforms. But we're going to go to World, and we are going to go to our map here. And immediately what you see are dollar signs. tags, and we're going to scroll in here. Now you can see where I am. Now some of these places, all the ones listed with the little tags on them are for sale, and we're about to get into that. But some of these places are also for rent. Some people, private owners, and honestly a few of the larger landowners will have it so that you can either rent or buy. It'll be up to you, depending upon how you want to handle things. Not every piece of land for sale is for rent, nor every piece of land for rent is for sale. So you have to check each individual one. So I'm going to click that one. And as you can see, it looks like this one is just for sale. 22,304 square meters, 64,900 linden, and it is 28 linden per square meter. It is, depending upon how you look at it, very cheap or quite expensive, but it is for sale. It is not also for rent, which a lot of places will be. And I'm looking for one. I may not find one, but you do get the picture and understand what I'm saying. We're going to save this. But this is also a way of finding rentals. Yes, this way is more inundated with parcels for sale, various parcels of various sizes in various places, as you can see. But you can, being patient, you can find some actual rentals this way, absolutely, without a doubt. Alright, pros and cons of renting. First pro, you can leave at any time, whenever you feel like it. You pay that tier. It's usually weekly. If you can find a deal, do try to find a deal. Someone who offers 4 weeks with 3 days free is going to be a really good deal, regardless of what you're paying, because that's a full month. If you're paying for 4 weeks, do keep in mind you're not paying for a full month. You're paying 28 days. The next thing is convenience. There are always rentals available. You can throw a rock and hit a rental, be that from a private seller, a private owner rather, or from land baron or rental company. There are always going to be rentals available somewhere, so very convenient. Yeah. The third thing that is a pro about rentals is that sometimes, especially when you're dealing with estates, long-standing estates, there are rules, there are covenants in place that do not allow for you to do a whole bunch of crazy rezzing of crazy objects in crazy ways. So aesthetically, you may get a better deal for that reason. Aesthetically, you may find that that is worth what you pay. So, fourth and I believe final pro is that you're not paying directly to Linden Lab. You are doing a weekly thing. You are able to kind of, pay it as it comes to you. And you're not able to do that with Linden Lab. So, Those are your pros for rentals. Your cons for rentals is that you can have your rental one day, the next day it not be there. It happens all the time. People have to pay their bills, and if they can't or won't, then that means that you don't have a home. And depending upon how much you pay in advance, that could be a financial hit to you also, because of, $1 does equal 250 of them here. That does hit different. The other con is that you're not able to kind of always get a deal. Sometimes it is what it is, and this is what it is, and there is no wiggle room, which is, kind of different when you're dealing with private rentals. Sometimes you can have some wiggle room, and sometimes you can't, depending upon what your covenant says or what you have around you. Another con that is in common with mainland is that scripts. Just because a person stays under their script count under their prim count, doesn't mean that they necessarily stay under their script count. And so the system for region, as far as I understand it, is going to prioritize the heaviest items first. So it might leave you at a bit of a loss every once in a while when it comes down to what's going on your parcel. So as far as I know, those are the cons. Oh, one more very, very important con. Oh my goodness. And I can't believe I almost forgot. Rentals are almost always more expensive. Almost always more expensive than owning mainland. Overall, you're paying over what that person is paying, because they have to make a profit. They can't just have you living on their land for free, even if they're a private owner. There are some very generous people out there who open up their homes and put an apartment building down, or put a build down and say, come one, come all, or come as many as I can take. But in general, prices like this, 100 Linden a week, and I don't even know these people, we're just running across this one. 100 Linden a week. This is a really good price, and it isn't always like that. It isn't always going to be that it is a deal for you over what you could do if you went with mainland or got a full region with premium. That being said, don't forget, of course, you can get if you have premium, you can get a 1024, and it's quote free. But that's not even what we're talking about today either. So those are your cons for renting. And now we're going to go into buying land. Hold on tight, because now we're about as we discussed earlier in the video, you come to your secondlife.com account, tap into community, tap into forums, and you get to scroll all the way down until you get to the land forum, and we are going to look at mainland. This is where you can get a lot of your questions answered here. And you can just kind of connect with other people here, which is really nice. Now, as we were discussing earlier, there are ways to go ahead and look for mainland and regions for rent or sale. So now we're going to look at parcels for sale. Now, most of these, unlike the marketplace listings for rentals, most of these are still going to be available unless you click into something and it says that it's been sold already. Most people are very good about coming back and updating and saying sold or not. So I can count on one hand how many times I've looked for land and arrived at the parcel and the parcel was already sold and that wasn't listed on the original forum post here. Oceanfront and mountaintop foursomes sailing parcel. This is amazing. So let's take a look at the parcels for sale. I'm going to just go and take a price of the market. Let's go take a look at this, and if you click them, most people do include the landmark so that you can go and get there quickly, and it will give you a cute little view of the land map that is around it. We're going to visit this location. If you have it set in World so that you can have it set online so that you can just click have Firestorm or whatever program that you're using be the default handler for these types of protocols, then when you click visit this location, it will pop up in World for you. We're going to teleport and look at this land. Right about now, I should be flashing a screenshot that I took of a parcel for sale and how it has a little symbol, a little blue $ symbol in the right hand corner. Now this isn't that parcel, not this one, but it does show the same type of setup. This whole thing will be yours. And if we go down here, we can see that we've got a orange ownership line. It is for sale. It is not red, so it's not owned by someone else. It is not yellow, so it's not a public works. It is not green, so you don't own it. It's orange. Now we're going to click in Firestorm. We're going to click World. We're going to click Parcel Details. And we're going to see what's up with this piece of property. The area is 4064. And that, I believe, is a 1/16 or thereabouts. 30,000 linden. It is 7.4 linden per square meter. And this is oceanfront property. It is 703 land impact, and 3 water sims are connected. So our objects here gives you some information. But this is really what we need to know. This is a great way of checking scripts as well. Now, this is gorgeous. Not gonna hold ya. Not gonna hold ya. Now, what I want to see, and what you can't fly this. How very, very slick. Protected land. Tyrol. And we're going to take a quick look at the map, at the world map, to see exactly what we're looking at. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And we can fly here, so let's do that. Oh wow. Okay, so what's incredibly amazing about this is that you can sail all of this textured water. All of this textured water is sailable, swimmable. This is quite remarkable. Oh, hey, there's somebody else there. People in the water. There are people in the water. So, now that being said, this is mainland. So, you know, you're gonna get some interesting things to look at. You're going to be kind of privy to whatever's going on someone else's parcel, unless you de-render it, and that may be a lot of work. That may not be something you wish to do. Yeah. So everyone on this side of this wall is subjected to that wall, unless they de-render it. So that's one of the things that is a consideration to mainland. But this is an incredible view right here. You definitely can't see that wall from over here. The price is because of all of this water, because it gives you so much to do independent of having to go to something to do. I would say that this is a very good piece of land, and well priced. Even at 30K, this is very well priced. Going into 40 and 50, no, I wouldn't do it, because, you know, it's still virtual here. But this is a very good price. Also, if you're premium, I don't think this is going to cost a lot of money per month. Let's see something real quick. I can't buy it, so this is perfectly safe for me to do. Yeah. This is going to be very inexpensive if you're a premium member of SL per month. So once you put that 30,000 linden into the pocket of the owner of this piece of land, every month hereafter, you don't have much to think about. This is very inexpensive per month. And those are the kind of considerations you have to keep in mind when you are buying mainland. Uh, does it fit within your monthly budget? Because you are dealing with every 30 days paying directly to Linden Lab after your initial land purchase. So yeah, that is that. So you can go to the forums and pick whatever you like. Whatever you like. $30K for 2812. Fully furnished. Oh, and there's a tropical skybox. So you can have the beach as well. Ah, okay. Because I was like, where are the rest of the prims? Okay. Facing the sunset. Okay. And the price has been reduced on this one. Plenty of pictures with this. So before you even go and look at it, you have an idea of what you're going to expect to see. Let's go and look. And again, this is a good way to see what's around you. Now, this isn't accurate. It's kind of like, I like thinking about it like the Lego blocks brand of the SL map. Very simple, but you can see what's around you. Alright, let's go over there. Egremont is the name of this place. Okay, now this person is a person, a decorator, landscaper after my own heart. Oh, I love how wild this is. Controlled wildness. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. Even more so because my frames are still really good. Actually, let's look around the back real quick. And I don't believe... Oh no, there is something down here. They might have used the terraform land map, rather. Looks like they did. Yeah, looks like they used the land map over here. Yeah. So we're not going to be able to grab the land. We're going to have to go ahead and go into the menu to see what's going on. But I was trying to get an outline so you could see the property lines. Oh yeah, I love this. This is really pretty. 20K, 81.92, not a bad price at all, especially with the way they've got this set up. This is, they really maximized what this is. They really, really did a good job. Because, as you can see, there are other properties nearby. And God bless these people. They put up a high wall and built up high too, so that they aren't disturbing the people below them. Everybody's pretty much respecting each other over here. We climb a little lower, we get closer to the water, and we've got some likely landscaping and decoration. This place looks to be rather safe. This is gorgeous. Hey, I have that. I need to put that out. I love this house. Okay, so back to where we are. This is for sale. Again, this is an 8192. We have got 2,812 land impact, and it's a beautiful location. Very nice location. Looks like your neighbors are all of a let's flow together mindset. Your view is fantastic. And hard to even believe that this is mainland. This is absolutely stupendous. A really good price, can't even lie. All the way down. Just nice. Ooh, that glitching though. That glitching that's driving me nuts. Oh, it only glitches when you move. So you could kind of deal with that. Yeah, this is really, really, really amazing. All of this. All of this. Yeah, it's really well done. Really, really, really well done. I really like it. All right. So this one next door looks to be a rental. But this is for sale. Kind of already, if this is the type of thing you're looking for, kind of already set up for you. Now back here, we can see that there's some other land for sale. So 1024, 2048. Yeah, we've got quite a bit of land over here for sale, but again, here it's definitely, oh, this is lovely. It's definitely really beautiful and worth a look. And again, it's not that you can't find beautiful places. There are some beautiful places, as this proves. For sale. For sale. That are mainland. Alright, so we're going to check the next way of getting your hands on mainland. And that is pretty much the same thing we did before going to our search Firestorm search bar. Press enter. Don't even type anything. Land to buy or rent. And we are going to buy mainland or private island or homestead And you can look that way the same way that you did for the rentals. Now there are some differences here. As you can see, this says buy. We made sure to click buy land. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to this particular one. And we're going to see where the problem actually is. And that is in that. Let's see, I should be able to go around here. Oh, no, I can't. No, I can't. That's all right. The problem with this is that, again, even though this is listed as for sale, it's not. You're on a weekly tier payment. You're going to buy this land, but it's not really a purchase. You basically purchase the use of the land somewhat, but it is a rental. It's still a rental. Thus, our tier box. Again, nothing wrong with that. But if you're looking to actually buy land that you are looking at paying kind of like one would a mortgage, this is not what you want. So make sure that whenever you go to quote buy land, you're actually buying it. And this does apply for most. This applies for most mainland. All right, so that is the. Trying to think, are there any other ways other than Facebook, the forums, doing a search in world, of course, the world map, of course. Last way of doing a search. Now we are in an area that is individual sim heavy, and so a lot of your rentals are not going to be mainland rentals here. This is just not. And we are going to grown and petty estate. Winning. Okay, let's teleport over there. Chiron. This is actually for sale. This is for sale. This is going to be now I know this may seem much having these parcel borders up, but it is very helpful so that you do not have any question as to what you are buying. So this is our parcel. This is grown and petty. Let's look at our parcel details. 8K, 3.2 linden per square meter. 2464 is our area. And 845 land impact is what we've got. Winning wit. And Not bad. Not bad. But again, it's one of those situations where you have to look around, see what's around you, decide whether or not that is acceptable to you, and go from there. Anything can happen on this parcel right in front of you, on the one over here, the one over there, this one next door. Now, that being said, this looks like it is a Linden Road. Yeah. So you're right by a road, which is nice. This reminds me of where I used to live, somewhat. Off of that, I believe I was on Route 2 over there, which I really liked. Anyway, but this land is truly for sale. If you purchase it, you're going to be looking at what? I can't remember if it's $8 or $15 a month after the initial payment. You will be paying the $8K directly to a person, and after that, your account, if you're premium, will be billed per month for, let's see, let's look at that really quickly. 2464 square meters is what we have here. So 2464, we were at, okay, we could have been at the $13 level, but we would have to take the $22 a month level because we are over that 2,000 square meter limit. And anytime you are even 1 square meter over your allotted limit here, it bumps you up to the next tier. So if you bought this land in particular, you'd be looking at $22 a month, in which case you'd be, quote, wasting a lot of land impact, in which case I would be looking at buying the piece of land next door to kind of even that out, to get me as close to that 4096 as I could possibly get without going over, if I were going to go for this piece of land. If I wanted to stay in the $13 a month range, I wouldn't buy this. Or I would ask the owner to shave off this back end here where it goes jagged. I would ask to have that shaved off and try to get that under that 2042. All right, so negotiations can happen, and especially when you're dealing with people who are really trying to get rid of land. And yeah, so that is the other way of obtaining land through the land map, through the world map, and just looking for your yellow boxes, looking for your little dollar signs. Now that is huge. Rare water land. As you can see, there's a lot of empty land here. Abandoned land. Well, let's talk about that really quickly, because I know you get the point. Yellow boxes are for sale. Be careful. Be careful. Abandoned land. Let's teleport to that. We are at Silix. And this bit of land here is abandoned. Now, the thing about abandoned land is that it is relatively easy to obtain depending upon where it is. If it is close to a roadside, if it is close to water, you can attempt to get it, but it may be difficult because that is prime land. Now, this doesn't happen to be right off of a roadway. Or off of the waterway, not right off. So, the likelihood of you being able to get this land for 1 linden per square meter is pretty high. You do that by, before I go into that, do keep in mind that even if you pay Linden Lab 1 linden per square meter for this land, it does not absolve you of the fact that you will have to pay whatever you buy. It's equal in linden, just like you'd have to pay monthly when you get it from another person. This way, it's just more that you know how much you're paying. If you are getting 600 square meters or 16,000 square meters, that's how much you're going to pay. You're going to pay 600 linden or 16,000 linden for that. But yeah, let's talk about that. If you are going to do that, if you're going to claim abandoned land, you have to go to secondlife.com and go to your personal account. You're going to scroll all the way over to click help. Scrolling down to support, you're going to click support. And then you are going to ignore all of this over here, and you're going to go to your far right, scroll down a bit, and you are going to put in a submit a support case. You're going to click that. And you are going to submit a support ticket. And then when it says submit a ticket, you are going to click land and region. And then you are going to click abandoned land. You are going to be asked what is the name of the region. In this case, it is Cilix. Cilix. So I would put Cilix right here. And then I would grab the slurl by clicking and then copying and pulling that right here and copy and paste. And down here you would just say, I would like to buy X amount of square meters at this slurl, and that's it. You submit your ticket. They will email you when they have time. It usually takes a day. Sometimes, I think the longest it's ever taken for me was about 3 days, which isn't very long at all in my world. Yeah, so it's very simple. And by the time you get done, you will have exactly what you want. So, again, we've covered mainland, we've talked about abandoned land. Now let's talk about the final frontier, and that is buying a sim. As usual, we will go to the usual suspects. And of course, there are Sims that you can buy. If you look on Marketplace, if you type in full sim, you'll find some on Marketplace. A lot of that, I would say it's about 70-30 as to whether or not they're updated over there. I find this and the forums, which we've talked about. Now, I'm sure I exaggerate on that 70-30, but I do find that the forums and Facebook and the native search is a bit more reliable when it comes down to up-to-date listings. And of course, the world map is very reliable as well. Um, so let's talk about getting a full sim. And of course, you can do that here the same way that I showed you how to get rentals on the forums. And again, you can use Facebook. Here in the forums, you have designations, so that makes it a lot easier to search. In the native search engine in Firestorm, remember, in Firestorm, that makes it easy too, because you can always type in full sim or full region and see those things. Now, do keep in mind that part of what you're going to find are full regions that, again, are not set up as kind of you owning your land and home in a mortgage type of way. It's still going to be that rental type of setup. So you have to make sure that you know what you're getting into. If they're telling you that you buy the land and then you're going to pay weekly, that is not a transaction from you to Linden Lab. That is not a two-party transaction. That is going to be a three-party transaction from you to your owner, from your owner to Linden Lab. So you want to keep that in mind as you look around for these things, especially when you're talking about really investing in something as large as a full region, whether it be that you're getting a standalone, and forgive me for using the term sim and region interchangeably, but you know what I'm saying. But when you're doing something as monumental for some of us, as getting a full region or buying a sim, you do want to make sure that you actually know what you're walking into. If you want another person as an intermediary between you and Linden Lab, then of course that's out there, no problem, you do you. But if you want that, okay, I'm paying on this day of the month, every 30 days, this is what it is, then you have to make sure that's exactly what you're getting, because it's relatively easy to walk into something else if you're not aware. 230K prim full regions, one grandfathered, one non-grandfathered. Now that is something that I'm glad is right here, because that saves me a couple of steps. The difference between grandfathered and non-grandfathered. Some regions are very, very old and they've been here for a long time, and so you can buy one from a private seller for a certain amount, whatever amount they say, and then you have to do the transfer fee. As you can see, the grandfathered one is $209 a month. I wish I could have found that one. That would have been great. Fantastic. But the other one is non-grandfathered, and it's $265 a month. So that's the difference. You are paying. Well, no, it's $259 a month, actually, but that is something that you have to think about. To $160 a month on a non-grandfathered region. If you are lucky enough to find a grandfathered region, it will be $209 a month, which is, it is more than a hop, skip, and a jump away from 260. However, the ask price, as you can see, is rather high. This person is asking for $500, which isn't unreasonable, because considering the fact that you will save $50, I'm putting that word in quotes, save $50 a month on your monthly mortgage to Linden Lab, you will get that back pretty quickly. You will save that back pretty quickly. So, yeah, that is a good thing. The non-grandfathered being $180 plus transfer fee is going to make it closer to $300 for you. And that is reasonable when you consider that to start your own region is about $150 more than that. This person is saying that they will have it cleared off by the 18th. Do keep in mind that you as the buyer will almost always be responsible for the transfer fee, which is $100. It used to be $150, but it's $100 now. It may change, so don't hold me to it. But yeah, you are responsible for the transfer fee and whatever they say you need to pay. Now, you will have some places in Second Life that will have their entire region for sale, and you will pay the Linden, and if they don't transfer that region to you through Linden Lab, you don't own it. So, let's say you go to a full region, full sim. We are more familiar with calling them. And it says that the sim is on sale, full out buy for 50,000 Linden or 60,000 Linden. Unless that person is prepared to transfer everything that day, you're not to pay anything. Pay nothing. The way this works is this. Well, you know what? I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's finish this portion up, and then we'll get into that. As I said, we come back to our forum page, and we are able to find full islands and full places for sale. As this person says here, region will be cleared before sale, not rent. Actual sale. That is a big deal. It's currently a 30K version, but having it downgraded to 200K. If you have a 30K, that is what you're talking about. That's when we're talking about the 260. If you have it downgraded, then you're at 229. So that's the difference. This person is actually covering the transfer fee for you. So that is a big deal too. But they don't have a landmark for you. So we can't even go and see this one. But full non-grandfathered, 20,000 prems. Rent due date is the 22nd. 28,000 lendings plus 26,000 for the transfer fee. This is absolutely spectacular. And if somebody bought it, I don't blame them. Yeah, somebody bought it. Somebody bought it. So, and for an excellent price, because 28,000 Linden is, a little over $100. A far cry from 250 or 350 that it costs to set up a private region. Yeah, so a little over $200 total there. So somebody got a great region. Let's see, let's look at this one. Best offer, Korean Panther Continent. Currently docked to other Korean parcels, but you can connect it and move it. And must have a Korean thing with contiguous waterways and land to main adjoining sim if you decide to stay. Okay. Land is paid through the 15th, and the buyer pays the transfer fees. Let's go see if this is still available. It is. Let's go look. Oh, it's not showing it. It's not gonna show it. Yeah. Or somebody bought it and they are moving it as we speak, and that is why we're getting an NA. Point is that there are ways to get a full region, and you don't have to pay a lot of money for it. Full private region for rent. See, and this is a rent. This is a rent. So, yeah, no, that's not what we're looking at. Yeah. So, yeah, there are lots of places, and these pop up quite often. So, just keep your eyes on the forum if you're looking for a deal on getting a full region. Again, if you would like to get a full region the traditional way, it's the same thing. Log into your secondlife.com account and you can go to, let's actually just do that. Buy land. You just go to your Second Life account and you're going to click buy land, and you're going to do the undeveloped land, and you're going to buy one of these. You're going to buy an undeveloped private region, and all you have to do is click one of the ones that you want, and it'll take you through all of the steps to buying another home for yourself. Now this is very cool because, again, it's very plain to see. This is what, you can choose any of those others, but this is what you're going to be paying. So $349 is the setup fee. So as you could see, getting one from the forum, being able to be patient enough to find one there is worth your time. Because, yeah. Now, from what I understand, when you do this, you get 1 month as a break when you do this through Linden Lab when you just go ahead and have one created for yourself. That is not the case when you buy one from the forums. You do not get a month free. You pick up where the last person left off. Period. Now, also, I meant to mention the auctions. Auctions are a little tough because you're bidding. You're bidding on land, and this is where you can put any size land, any size, and that's why it did kind of slip my mind when I was thinking about adding it to the mainland portion. You can find a full region. You can find a tiny, tiny space. It is just up to the seller. But you're in an auction. You're doing this eBay style, and so while it is a viable way of finding something, you're competing. You are competing, and I tend to prefer to take the competition out of the equation personally. Um, huh. Huh. But I will suggest this. Usually when you see these places that are like, let's see this one for instance. I'm gonna visit this location because that's what it does for you. You click it, and we're gonna go over there. Usually, if you come to these places that have places for rent, for sale rather, you will find other places that are for sale. Like, this is a relatively large portion. Not for sale, that isn't. Yeah, this is a 1024, 15,500 Linden. And that's another thing. Adult land is exorbitantly expensive when it comes down to purchase. Much easier to rent it. Much easier to rent it. Now, would I suggest renting it? Well, it depends on what you're doing. It really does depend on what you're doing. But this is a very small parcel. Now, if you absolutely need it to be adult, then this makes sense, of course. But now the last one I had, I sold pretty quickly and pretty cheaply, not gonna lie. I know I could have sold it for twice as much. Probably 3 times as much as I sold it for, but it truly was a matter of my really wanting to get out and get everything consolidated in a way that made sense, and as quickly as possible. And sometimes that is what is the impetus for you getting an amazing deal. So, let's see something real quick. Oh, there are passes for this place. Oh, how interesting. How interesting. So, that is the other thing. You can get any kind of land that you want from the auction, but you are in competition with other people for that. As you can see, the number of bidders for most of these are going to, especially if you're looking for adult land, are going to be pretty rough. I'm surprised to see this general land so expensive. I'm surprised to see that. But yes, so wanted to mention that. But did want to make sure to make you aware of the forums, to remind you again about Facebook and how you can, keep your ears open over there for full regions. And yeah, yeah. So let's go back to my house and we will do a quick wrap up. And I will tell you about my personal experience. And that is really just that I kept my eyes on the forums after that last coming home and being displeased. I moved a little too quickly, so I was homeless for a couple of days. I did still have my 1024, fortunately for me. I did still have that, so I did have a place to dress and things like that. But I did have a few days where I didn't have a home and checked the forums and found someone who was unfortunately forced to dispose of their region, and I was able to purchase it. I was able to purchase it for an unreasonable cost, and I want to say it was Eric Linden that helped me with this particular transaction. Exceedingly patient. Not that it was super hard, but it was different. I've never done this before. She had, but I'd never done it before. And her going through the process, she was rightfully upset. And so there was a little hiccuping once or twice, but we got it done. And one of the best things I think I've done. I would not suggest it for everyone, but I'm here enough and use this enough that I feel justified in having it, and am very glad that I went this route, and kind of regret not doing it sooner. Sooner when I was doing other things in slightly different ways. But I'm getting back to that too now. But yeah, I'm really, really thrilled with having such a large space to have a real existence on. Even with BU and all their changes. And I saw something in the BU group the other day that warmed my heart. They knew that it was frustrating and maddening themselves. So because I was very upset last week. It was comforting to see that. And it kind of pulled me back from the brink. But with my doing BU and having the baby and eventually planning on doing other things, I am thrilled about having this type of space. And it's not grandfathered, unfortunately for me. I wish it were. And it is a 30K region, so it is that 259. Yeah. And because her payment date was 6 days before my mainland payment date, I had to kind of finagle that to make sure that everything was in place. The major points that I will cover that most people act like is a secret or something, which annoys me, can you tell, is this. If you're going to do this way, unless they say they are going to pay the transfer fee, that is on you. When you go to buy one, if it says that you can buy it like you buy mainland, don't buy it. Make sure to get in touch with that person, message that person. Send them a note card, send them a message, and tell them that you're interested in buying their sim. But you don't pay them a dime. Not one red cent. The way that happens is that Linden Lab makes the exchange for you. You pay your seller in Linden's. So you have to have whatever the amount is that they're asking for. You have to have that amount in your account. So I only have this account. This is Celena Mercury. And so I had to have the sale amount that the seller was asking for in my account in Linden. Now, you can pay the transfer fee in Linden as well, or you can pay it in US dollars or whatever your currency is. But Linden Lab takes the money from your account and gives it to your seller. You do not do that. I'm going to repeat that. Linden Lab extracts the Linden from your account to give to your seller on your behalf. If you are the one who is paying the transfer fee, depending on how you're paying it, if you're paying it in Linden, of course, same thing. It comes out of your account. They take it. If you're paying in your currency, your country's currency, it will come out of your, in our case, Tilia account. It'll come out of that way if you have it there. You have to already have the funds available. Now, I'm going to say again, if you find a region for sale and it has a dollar amount on it, and I'm going to flash that little screenshot again up there. If you see that and you want to buy that region, go to World, go to Land, find out who owns it, and message them so that you can make the exchange through Linden Lab. If you do not do that and you pay this person money, it is very likely 50-50 that you may not see that money again because you didn't buy it. You essentially didn't buy it. They have to transfer it to you. Linden Lab does all of that. All of it. So, this was a lot of information. I know. But I hope that it was helpful. If you have any questions, put them down below. I'm going to finally let you go. I love y'all. Mwah. Happy hunting.